We had a situation where mom called me and there were girls in her class at school, an all-girls school, that had sugar daddies. I was like, how are they finding the girls? And it was Venmo. I'm like,
Venmo?
Venmo, that's the app I use to pay my babysitter. That's not something on anyone's radar as where the traffickers go to find kids. They could find out who a 13-year-old girl was just by her patterns on Venmo, right? Like money at Sephora, girls' night at the movie. You know, it's just, for a predator, they're smarter than parents can keep up with, right? So that was a new one. Venmo.
That's wow.
And so then they would send these girls like $100 for a headshot. You could be a model.
All right, Elizabeth, getting ready for the big interview, but we got these things we do every once in a while. It's a new thing actually for this year. We're calling them hot questions.
All right.
And so it's going to be a really heavy interview about that was weird.
Mm-hmm. What is that thing?
It's going to be, I think my phone just fell off.
Oh.
Going to be a really heavy interview about your brother, his suicide, what happened at Camp Kanakuk. And so that's kind of be the topic of the interview is sexual abuse. And so the hot question we have here is, we've uncovered a lot about how children are being targeted online, especially through video games and platforms that parents often see as harmless. When Ryan Montgomery came on the show, he broke down how predators are actively using games like Roblox to groom and exploit children, and how these platforms have struggled to stop it. What are the most popular games that the 764 cult is luring their victims out of?
Roblox, Minecraft, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat.
Okay, tell me about Roblox and Minecraft, because I don't know anything about gaming. I don't game. I don't.
Understood. I don't either, but it's part of the investigation. You gotta, you know, a lot of times I'm investigating, I end up on these games or apps, and Roblox is the one that I'll focus on the most because that seems like the majority of the issues right now.
I know little kids that use that game.
There's 75 million active daily users.
You're a parent yourself. What specific steps and safeguards do you put in place to protect your own children from online predation? And what should every parent be doing right now that many still aren't?
It's a great question. And especially because things keep evolving. And so you've got to keep up, right? And I'm really grateful for people like Ryan who are exposing this stuff. My kids are 13, 11, and 7, almost 8. And so I just know too much, right, to let them have access to the World Wide Web. It's crazy out there. And these tech companies aren't doing anything to protect kids. They build their businesses for profit, not for protection. So my oldest being 13, a lot of his friends have cell phones, even my 11-year-old's friends. And we just don't do that. I mean, we let them have...
They don't have any phone?
No phones for the kids. There's a kind of group consensus of wait till 8th and then get like a very basic phone that doesn't have apps on it, just for communication. Mm-hmm. So we'll do something like that for our oldest when he's in 8th grade, probably. But they have iPads. They're super locked down. We do not let them play Roblox. And here's an example of what people don't even realize that I want parents to know. When I was the board chair of an anti-trafficking organization during COVID, I would get a lot of tips or parents calling because they knew like I was doing some work around this. And they also knew about my brother's story. And we had a situation where mom called me and there were girls in her class at school, an all-girls school, that had sugar daddies. And these were, 15-year-old girls, and multiple of them had sugar daddies. And I was like, how are they finding the girls? And it was Venmo. I'm like, Venmo, that's the app I use to pay my babysitters or, like reimburse someone for co-hosting a birthday dinner or something. That's not something on anyone's radar as where the traffickers go to find kids. And what was happening is they would find through the patterns, because Venmo's, if you don't have privacy settings on, it defaults to public. And I don't know if that's changed, but in this case, they could find out who a 13-year-old girl was just by her patterns on Venmo. right? Like money at Sephora, girls' night at the movie. It's just for a predator, they're smarter than parents can keep up with, right? So that was a new one. Venmo.
Wow.
And so then they would send these girls like $100 for a headshot. You could be a model, the whole like love bombing, right? And then it would escalate into, if you go lower, I'll pay you more money. And then then it became sextortion. And then there's so much shame. They don't tell a parent. The reason this came to our attention was because one of the girls, one of the families was hosting a girl like as a boarding student. And she didn't understand what was happening. And she just said, yeah, all my friends have sugar daddies. And the mom that was hosting her was like, what? And that's how we ended up figuring out what was going on there and getting law enforcement involved and stuff. The school didn't really do much about it, but
wow.
Yeah. That's the world we live in now. It's like even these apps we think are so innocuous and are helpful, right, in day-to-day life. They can be used under the right circumstances. I mean, during COVID, just as every industry had to pivot, so did the predators. And so they went more online, and they find vulnerabilities in all of these apps.
Man.
It's crazy.
It's crazy how many of them there are.
Yeah.
It's wild. I mean, I don't know how many of these shows you've seen or if you even know who Ryan Montgomery is, but the first time I interviewed him, I didn't believe this shit. I was like, nah, it's not that bad. And so I made him prove it to me. I don't know if you saw it, but I was like, whip your laptop out, get in any chat room. I don't care what it is. I will sit here for 2 days.
Yeah. Then probably like within seconds, there were...
It was 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Yep, exactly.
I was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. But, and then I look at parents. I mean, I have 2 little ones myself, and one of them's kind of just now starting to show interest in, he wants to take my iPad or stuff like that. He's starting to learn how to work a remote, shit like that. And, but I see a lot of parents and they don't even take advantage of the stuff that the platforms are using, like YouTube Kids and stuff like that.
It's
like, they
too
don't
many
even
steps.
do that.
If you're not in this, if you don't understand this world, I can see how parents are overwhelmed by just the amount of steps you have to take to lock down a kid's device.
We're overwhelmed. Well, we don't have any kids' devices yet. But.
Yeah, already overwhelmed. I mean, here's another thing I'll say. Keep your kids off YouTube. I've had friends who their son was on the bus to school, and some kid had an iPad, and they were watching cartoons, and it just rolls to the next on YouTube. I'll like go from one video straight into the next, and it was animated porn. It was cartoon characters doing sexually explicit things, and this was on. They were watching something innocent, and then it rolled to this video, and that kid has had so many issues from that. Fortunately, he eventually told his parents and they got him some help. And, that's not your fault, but this is why we don't want you on YouTube. There are even some issues with YouTube Kids.
Is there? What are those issues?
Yeah. So I got in touch with the team at Mr. Beast. We met at this thing and I told them some exact examples. And they were like, we don't need to be on YouTube Kids. We're YouTube, right? But like YouTube Kids, we can call up there and say, we're out of here if you're like promoting these materials on YouTube Kids. So like the chief technology officer at the time for YouTube Kids, like made a couple phone calls and got this stuff taken down. But same stuff on YouTube Kids.
Wow.
And these channels had been reported multiple times, like not just a couple of times.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And until they got that call from someone that works for Mr. Beast, they didn't do anything about it. So our kids, if they want to watch YouTube, it's with a parent in the room. And they know this. We're very strict about it. And it's very limited.
What do they watch? What are they allowed to watch on their own? Anything?
We love family movie night. We do family movie night on Friday nights, and we pick out a movie together, and they're watching with their parents. Now, I don't think my kids need to live in a bubble. I think parents need to be watching this stuff and processing it with their kids so that there can be conversations. And then you have the conversation with them, too, around if you ever see something that feels off to you. There are tricky people and there are there's tricky content like that animated cartoon porn, right? Come to us, and you don't need to deal with that alone, and we'll figure it out. And then like that Mr. Beast situation, getting that taken down off YouTube Kids, they were like, oh, cool. We just made YouTube. And I was like, yeah, so now you're my YouTube Kid moderators. If you ever see anything like that, come to us. We'll get it taken down. It's not an excuse for them to watch more of it. But I think helping kids feel like part of the solution is a great way to parent. And then having those conversations with them around what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. But the average age a child's exposed to pornography is 11 these days.
Man.
And they're not seeking it out. I mean, vast majority of the time, it finds them, or it's that situation on the bus I mentioned. And they don't want to get in trouble because they don't want to lose their iPad. So they don't go to mom and dad.
Do you get a lot of flack for not letting your kids have phones? I mean, is this a daily battle? Is it?
I'd say every other day battle, yeah.
Every other day battle? Yeah.
Especially now that like my boys are in middle school, so like other kids have them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here's why we don't and won't. So no phones till 8th grade. And again, a very simple phone that's for communication. We have laptop and, so my oldest needs a laptop for school. The younger two, not really yet. They're handwriting assignments, but we have a contract for them that they sign, and there's one for their laptop and there's one for other devices. And we agree as a family on these terms, and they sign the contract. And we put it on the bulletin board in their room by their desk. And it's, don't get on group text threads. If people add you to a group text thread, you have to get permission from your parents to be on that thread or to add people to your contact list, things like that. Thorn for Parents is a great resource on this. They have templates of these contracts. I mean, we just drafted our own as like...
Thorn for Parents?
Thorn for Parents. So Thorn is doing a lot with online and digital safety. And they realize, to your point, like it's overwhelming for parents to know how to raise kids in this environment. And so they're kind of spoon feeding parents. And if you go to Thorn for Parents, there's all these links to just educating parents on like what they need to know and how bad these apps and games can be and what predators are doing. But then it also will spit out a template for you to have that conversation with your kid, how to have the conversation, and then a template contract if you want to go over some terms with your kids around boundaries with online devices.
Wow, that's good to know. I'm going to check that out tonight.
Yeah.
Thorn for Parents. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. That's
Carly Ryan Foundation, another great resource. Carly Ryan was lured to her rape and murder in Australia. And her mom, Sonia, has been fighting ever since to change laws in honor of Carly. And on the Carly Ryan website, they have a resources section, and they have one-pagers on all the apps, from Roblox to Discord to YouTube. And that's like a one-pager for parents to know how to adjust the settings on that app, or should you just not have the app? Yeah, so that's really helpful, awesome. Too. That's really helpful.
Wow. I'm checking that out as soon as I get home, too. Man, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You ready to get into the interview?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do it. No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.